Hey everyone, this is Blazer Firewolf. This is Roundup part 122. I'm going to title this video Lots of Clad, because in Silven Park there's this specific fenced off area, but I'm allowed to metal detect it, no problem. It's a skateboarding area. Kids, guys come along and ride on their skateboards and stuff, and I found more clad in this particular area because it's filled with grass. It's surrounded with grass in like three sections of it, three sections of it that surrounds this black fence area. Never been metal detected ever because I found so much clad. Are you ready? $34.85 totaling all of this. And because I found so much clad, I decided to just stack them up like how I usually do. Like 4 is $1, 4 quarters is $1, 5 dimes is 50 cents, 5 nickels is 25 cents, and pennies is 5. You know, to make it easier to count. So $34.85. The first day, I didn't really go in there, but I took a gamble going in this area, by the way. Thankfully, I'm allowed to go in there, but I think it would be more likely a place I will come back to in the spring next year. But first day, this is all from Silven Park, so I think $2.01 in clad. In the Bark playground area, I found a plastic copper bead, junk jewelry, a kid's fit-all junk ring with a fake stone, 2 crosses in the grass, and not real or anything, nothing exciting, just a bit of junk jewelry. God's Team. On the back it says, if the camera's gonna show through the light, orientaltrading.com Ninch 0822. Never looked that up. It's aluminium. But yeah, and a wheat penny. I found quite a bit of wheat pennies in the first few months of this year. 1957D. It's only probably 3 inches in grass, so yeah. This was kind of just outside the fence line, outside of the skateboarding area. So that's the first day. I'm going to go in a row like I usually go. Unlike what I usually do, where I don't get the best find for last, I do. So it's similar to what happened earlier this year with Prospect Park and finishing that orchard, and at the last day I find some good stuff. So this day, $9.02 for 8, 12, 21 clad quarters, 34 clad dimes, 5 clad nickels, copper memorials, few zinc pennies. Nothing exciting except for a little porcelain or bead or some type. It's actually porcelain. It's not plastic, so that's interesting. Third day, $8.48. And I got a 1959D copper penny. That's 66 years old. Just you wait, probably when it, you know, I'm not saving my copper penny. I'm not going to save my copper pennies until 2032. When the copper memorial turns 50 years old, that's when I'm going to keep them. Because I know they're worth more than a penny to make. Like, they're worth about a nickel or almost a dime to make. But yeah, this 22 clad quarters, 25, 27 dimes, just the usual clad, few memorials, but get a bucket list for two Mercury dimes, and 2 wheat pennies. I'll go with the wheat pennies first. 1955D. All of these wheat pennies that I found have been Denver mint stamps. I got a 1955D, a 56D, 57D, and a 52D. This is a 55D. It's not one of those misprinted or double-eyed ones. It's just a regular. It's not one of those rare ones. 56D in the grass. I found a ton of Indians, a ton of wheat pennies this year. I'm already probably at 10 almost right now. And these two were few inches in the grass. This was about 3 inches in the grass. This was only 2 inches close to the entrance. As soon as, you know, close to the front gate, close to the parking lot in Silven Park. So, 1925. It's quite a slicky. With the flash on, hopefully you'll be able to see 1925. It has no mint. It's quite slick though. But yeah, that's silver, 90% silver. And this is also 90% silver. However, it looks brand new the day it was dropped. 1942 S mint, San Francisco mint. I'd say this coin's worth quite a bit, given its condition. It's probably the best conditioned Mercury dime I've ever found. I clean these. I used toothpaste, toothpaste, and baking soda. It doesn't take long to clean these, polish and clean these things up. So, yep, $8.48. But what a rarity! 2 Mercuries and 2 wheat pennies in one hunt. Now that's a bucket list. Next, this I found more clad than any of these days. The most clad in one day, $9.44. Unfortunately, as you could tell, if you can, these quarters that I found have been hit by lawnmowers. Not all of them, but some of these coins have been hit by lawnmowers. Actually, believe it or not, there were, I believe somebody's thrown out $1 worth of dimes. I'm not joking. Somebody lost probably $3 worth of dimes, wrapped up in tape, and just thrown them out in the grass because they had no use for it. Or maybe they were just camping out and watching the other kids play, you know, doing cool tricks on their skateboards and bikes and bicycles and stuff. And I found $1 wrapped up in white tape, $1 worth of dimes, 10 dimes, all clad, but that's a bucket list, finding $1 worth of dimes all taped up, almost like a coin roll, because I use coin rolls to roll these things up, and that's a bucket list. This is probably my number 1 or number 2 best day. It's a fortune in clad, and 2 silvers in one day, 2 mercuries and 2 wheats in one day. Yeah, it's a rarity. And this day's $9.54. And another the wheat penny I mentioned earlier, that actually is the first coin that I found that of that day. 1952D. So, yeah. This is my first. It's a 22, but it's a practice bullet. It's squashed at the end. I think that is the symbol for practice. Or maybe it's something else, primer or something. It's a P with a star on it. It's not a real bullet. It's a practice round. I went to the bark area because they were just doing some water infiltration or something. So I went back to the bark if I could find another ring, and yep, found in the playground another kid's ring, a junk ring. Maybe one of these days you'll find the real deal, Ian. You just never know. Quite a few of the quarters. I think for a 26 quarters. The most quarters that I found in one day. That's a bucket list. 21 what is it, 24 dimes. 50 cents worth of nickels, actually 10 nickels. One is a 1959. As you could tell, it's been in the dirt for quite a while, I'll tell you that. It's pretty red and wore out. It could have been dropped the day it was minted, at a guess. It's doubtful, but it could be. But, yeah, zinc pennies, copper tube. Someone lost 2 perfectly good, usable pencil sharpeners. I could still use them. Actually, I used one of these, and surprisingly enough, it still works. They read so good on the machine, like a quarter, kind of 88, 89, because it's like aluminum or pot metal. Made in China, and there's a company on there. They still work. These pencil sharpeners still work. I don't know who would have lost them. There's kind of a couple benches, concrete benches, and kind of kids to hang out and relax, put their drinks and water and stuff after riding on their bikes, and skateboarders. And I don't know who lost these, but whoever lost them, thank you very much. I already copper tube, sprinkler head, Champion Los Angeles. It's all brass. It was already broken when I found it. It's the plastic of the top. And so yeah, that's the 4th day. The 5th day, I finished off with doing the last 2 hunts are underneath picnic tables. All wooden picnic tables, kind of covered in twigs and stuff. You know, redwoods and red trees and stuff. $2.62. Not as much, but I still dug regardless. And 1965. Got a little bit of cool memorials. A kid lost a cool Hot Wheels. 2013. Mattel. It's not gold. I've been looking really hard to find that gold, but it's not gold, sadly. This is still usable. Oneida 18-10 Indonesia. I didn't dig that. It was just laying underneath the table. A lot of these were not even deep at all. Majority of them. However, on the last hunt, I dug some junky targets, and the junky numbers on the Garrett, it paid off. So, but yeah, fork, stainless steel, but yeah. And the last hunt, I found a little bit more, $3.28. But strangely enough, the grass in this area is almost maybe mineralization. I can't tell because there's piping and irrigation stuff in the grass. It's very hard to get a good reading sometimes, but I mean, I'll have to eventually have no choice but, you know, dig up all the signals. Unless I know it's a pipe, you know, if it keeps running on me like a nail or pipe, I'm not going to dig it. But, yeah, thankfully, not every single one of these are deep. I kind of finished a little bit of a picnic table area and found a little bit, most of this clad. Brass ring, probably for a curtain pull or something. It's got a screw thread. Copper wire. This I actually thought was a dental tool, but believe it or not, Mom said it's a zip popper. If the camera's going to focus on that, that's the hook part, and then there's the loop part for it. So, bet you anything, this was underneath a wooden bench in the grass area. Lano or Ilano? It's hard to tell if, you know, Ilano or Lano. It's a zip popper thing. Though it looks like a dental tool. I don't know why they invented that. I think it's dumb they invented a zip popper thing. I think you use your fingers enough. But yeah, I'm not going to use it for zits. Don't worry. I'm going to use it for maybe It's a good tool. It's got a good pointy, sharp part, so I might use it to scrape off, you know, dirt that's caked in some of my finds. I might use it for that. It's a good tool for something, but I ain't gonna use it for my face, I'll tell you that. Ugh. And what else? Found another horseshoe. It was a terrible signal, as a lot of the finds in this grass is. There's this fenced off circular area in this grass where it's kind of this hill bit near the bench. It's basically started between 1888 and 1988, 100 years, until they fenced it off and it's closed off. It was a circular area where they play concerts and stuff, and pretty much back in the day, they were trotting along with their horses, because that's another horseshoe, believe it or not. That's a pretty cool find. I think if I go back there, I'm going to have to dig up everything, even the pipe signals, sadly, because what I found. Let's just say this park underestimated me. I got underestimated thinking I didn't find anything of historical value, but yeah. Found a cool flag. It was only about 5 inches at a guess. Mackinac Island. It reminds me of the Ocean Grove, New Jersey pin badge, because it's got the right shape and feel, and it had a silver part to it, which it could have been weld or something. But yeah, that's a cool pin badge. I like that. 5 inches. Now this is cool. I'll bring it over here. 28th. This was only 2 inches. It was hit by a lawnmower, but I did straighten it out because it is aluminium. 28th Annual Memorial Veterans Car Show, October 14th, 2018, with the American flag. Dog tag, sponsored Team Rennick. Veterans Car Show. Volunteers for Veterans Foundation. If you love your freedom, think of it. True that, because, yeah, I think of that. Whether you're in World War II or in Vietnam or any war, help protecting, for America, we salute you. The best find for last. It was a terrible signal. It was like 8 inches, 8.5 inches. Very terrible signal. But I think the reason why it was terrible, it was on edge. It wasn't flat, but it was on edge. Now I pulled it out. I screamed hallelujah because it was an empty area. There was nobody around. So I screamed because it's a first. At least for this park. I found 4.5 Indian head pennies in Prospect Park. I found a half because I found a piece of an 1896. But now I got another one, a third one this year. Not from Prospect Park. No, Silven. I had to clean it because trying to get the crust off of the face, but it didn't work. So it's pretty bad shape. It was a terrible signal. It barely tweaked on the machine, on the Garrett. It was like 71.99, and then I didn't hear it again. Now, I wasn't sure how deep it was or what, but yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to try to slide a bit. But yes, an Indian head penny. Really terrible signal, but I dug it. 1905. Originally, when I found it, it was actually jade green, but I used some solution to help clean it up a bit so I can at least get the crust off, which it didn't really work, but it's in bad shape. But yeah, you could still see some spots of green, but it is a 1905 Indian. That's my third Indian, and my first time finding an Indian head in a park that's other than Prospect Park. So that's a bucket list. That's my oldest coin that I found at Silven Park too, unless I find something older than that. But terrible signal, but now that I think of it, if I come back to this park, I'm going to have to actually end up digging really bad targets. Eventually it will lead to me digging up iron too, but yeah. So that's my roundup. No gold, but man, I did bucket list on clad. I bucket listed on clad. I bucket listed on 2 silvers and 2 wheats in one day, which in itself is quite a rarity. And I bucket listed finding my first ever Indian head penny that's in a different spot, which can prove I could find an Indian head penny anywhere else. It's probably not worth anything, but I'll keep it regardless. Hold on. And that was just a phone ringing. Hope you guys like this video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and share it all together. This is Blaze the Firewolf, and I will catch you in my next video. Goodbye now.